that's cool. So I'm here, I'm going to present you Nexus. It is a framework for building GraphQL APIs with Prisma 2 and TypeScript. And it's really easy, like you'll see. And just for presentation, so my name is Joël, and I'm living in Berlin since last year. And I'm a TypeScript developer at Prisma. So yes, let's talk about Nexus. And I want to first introduce you to the Nexus ecosystem, because Nexus relies on, of course, GraphQL, because it for GraphQL APIs, and also on TypeScript, because it's a code-first approach to building GraphQL API. And it also relies on Prisma. So I kind of wanted to ask a question to the audience, quick. Are a lot of people familiar with GraphQL? And yeah, I'm curious. I don't know if it. I don't know if it works, but yeah. Yes. So maybe some people are also familiar with Prisma and TypeScript, I guess. So I think I don't need to explain GraphQL and TypeScript. But for Prisma, it is quite a new thing for a lot of people, I guess. So Prisma is a tool you use to access your database. I'm trying to read at the same time on the other screen. Yes, nice. So Prisma makes it really easy to query your database and also to migrate it. I will show you a demo, so it's easier to see. And the migrate part is still experimental, but the query part, the query client written in TypeScript, you can use it in production, even though it's in beta. The beta will end really soon. And people are really excited about it, myself included, of course. So, about Nexus. So Nexus is a project by Prisma. And so I don't work on it. I only work on Prisma. I'm a user of Nexus. I'm not the best person who knows how it works, in deep dive, all the crazy TypeScript stuff that happens behind the scene to make it happen. But I know it's awesome and it works really well, and I really like it. So if you want to see the website explains it and as a tutorial, and you'll see that the boilerplate is really minimal, and yeah, it's easy to start. So now I will just show you, because I have to deliver now. So let's see. I have a presentation mode here. Yep. So, yes. So, what we'll do is we'll basically use the Nexus CLI and create a project from scratch. And you'll see it's just as easy as this. So if you have npm, you have npx. It just runs the CLI for you. so the CLI will ask you, okay, you want to create a project? You want to use Java npm? I like both. And do you want to use a database? Yes, of course. And so Prisma right now is compatible with PostgreSQL, SQLite, MySQL, and MariaDB. And soon there will be MongoDB, but it's not there yet. So let's try with Postgre, for example. So like right now it's downloading the black hole of npm packages. And maybe my connection is slow, but it's okay. I know it works. It just does stuff. It takes a minute maximum. There we go. Because the thing is, because Nexus is a framework, it does a lot more than just a regular tool. Like you can see actually, maybe like this. You can see actually like it created like a API folder, a Prisma folder, packages and tsconfig. It really, like the CLI really bootstrapped a whole project. So because we selected the Postgres, we need to tell it where the Postgres instance is. And with Prisma, it's easy as there's a .m file, and you can customize the variable, of course. And for me, this looks like this for the default. So I will just save it and just follow the CLI. So now I'm using the experimental part of the Prisma CLI, is migrate, and it detected that this database doesn't exist on my Postgre instance. So I will just like say, yes, create it, and I will call this migration in it. You don't have to use migrate. You can use plain SQL or whatever tool you want. Yeah, it's just really easy to use it, but it's not required. So it created the model. The default model is world. We'll change it after. It's not. So coming back to the steps, but now that we migrated, no, we saved the migration, we need to apply it because it's not yet applied to the database. It's only saved locally. Actually, here in this folder, if you're curious, you can see all the steps and everything that happens. So if I apply it, it will just say it worked. And now I can start to use Nexus because Prisma.code generation. So I have this seed file, just a really, really simple seed file, just to show you. It just creates two entries in the database. And let's see. I will come back to this later. So thank you, Jan. So, okay. So let's see. I have my browser somewhere. Yes, I lost it here. Because I can just start Nexus now. So And it runs in the background and it takes care of updating everything for me. It's the dev mode. And that means that my browser can now use this. This is the GraphQL playground, you know. This is an old query. So right now we already have a working API. So for example, so the API already works, and you see that there's some magic happening behind the scene because I didn't do anything. It's because the bootstrap of the CLI does just two things. It's not big. So first, the model when you use Prisma is defined in a schema.prisma file, and it really looks like a GraphQL object, you know. And so if you're familiar, you will like it, I guess. And what happens is this starts the Nexus server, and you can pass settings to it. There's like 3 lines. The magic happens in the GraphQL API in the GraphQL.ts file, where it's where you say it's where we say I want this database field to be exposed to to the GraphQL API, because of course you don't want to expose everything, just what you want and what you need, and you want to customize. So this is what happens. And so because it's already done, it's interesting, but I suggested to have a blog example so we can do it together. So I just erase everything. Let's look at the schema, and let's say we want to do a blog. I prepared a simple schema to save some time. So here, for example, just a simple, we have a post model with an ID as a string. It could be an integer. Is published, so we can filter on it later. A title, a body, an author that is a user, and a user that has an email, like nothing crazy. But you can see it's really easy to read. And yeah, it's really easy to understand what's happening here. So we'll save it. But because I changed the schema, Nexus can detect it, and Nexus wants to be sure we do stuff on a database that was migrated, because of course it's not going to work if the database was not migrated. So here I can open a small window and do the migration for the schema. So I can call it blog, for example, and apply it. Yes, I am sure I want to apply the migration. Yes, looks good. So yeah, I'm sure. Now it's applied. I can get rid of this and restart Nexus. So now we only have the schema ready, and we need to build the GraphQL API on top of it. So that's where it gets interesting. So we have to define the objects we want to expose. So here it's like this. It has a name. You'll see the auto-completion really works well because everything is typed. So it has a definition. And here we'll say which fields you want to expose. Let's say we want the ID. And I have your choice between, actually, you can see like the auto-completion works really well directly from here. So I want the ID. Maybe the title. And maybe it's published. So, and do the same for user, for example. And what's interesting is I copy pasted the post, but because title and is published don't exist on the user, TypeScript knows it directly and can tell me and can yell at me in TypeScript, is published does not exist on type, is user. And of course, that was a big mistake. Well, let's see what exists. So we already exposed the ID. I'll just put the email and the first name. So the objects are defined. Now we need to add a query for GraphQL to work. So it's called query type. And what's happening here is, yeah. That's a mistake. Yeah, I did a mistake somewhere. Nothing big. Yeah, I forgot the definition. Model. Actually, no, you want a list because there's actually a lot of things in here. There's even a CRUD. But here we just by list. And we want to list field. We will call this GraphQL field posts. So, for example, if we want to list the post, that will be a good way to do it. And we say it's a type post. So it has to be the same type as the one in the schema. So yes, actually, I'm just gonna copy paste it. It's gonna be easier for this part. Because I did a small mistake and it will just fix everything. Yep. Yeah. Yes. So it complains about post is not. I think I think it's fine. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's just TypeScript. That is, yeah, happy now. Yes. So what happens here is we can define a custom resolver like any GraphQL API. And in the context, we have access to the Prisma. This is basically the Prisma query client and with the model, and we directly have, for example, oh, I will show you when it works. I think it's just, yeah. So it's okay. Let's see if it works in the GraphQL. We want to list them. Let's see. Yeah, it's empty. It works. Right. Gonna get rid of the view. So that's good. Yeah, I think I'll try to reload the window just in case. Yes, now it works. That's perfect. So to show you here, I have directly access to count, create, delete, many, find many, find one, update. So I can directly say find many where and is published. It's really easy to filter. So now we want to probably seed this database because it's really empty. And let's see. So I will just get rid of everything and we can start it from scratch. So here we want to create a user one, probably. And let's say create, we'll add some data. And let's see what's available. So here you can see that email and password hatch are required. So we'll just fill what's required. So it's just easier. And it still contains here because, yeah, password hash is not declared. Let's fix it. And let's say my password hash is yes. So now we have user one, user two, hello two maybe. But we also want to create some posts with it. And we can actually create both at the same time, for example. So here, you can say posts as, and we want to create some posts. Let's see, we will create something like title test draft that we don't want published because it's test, and body is just we'll add two more. It's just right there. Here. There we go. And we can do it. This is I can zoom here. Even console log after the one, the two. And let's see if the seed works. Seed work. And we can go back. Oh yeah, I already filled Nexus. So let's restart it. Yes. So the GraphQL server is already back running. And we already have the post here. And we only have two because I feel like in the GraphQL API, I specifically say to the resolver, I only want the published ones. So it works just fine. So I think, it's hard to get easier like than this. It really feels like I did nothing and everything works. And actually, because everything was set up, the package JSON is already done, and there's only two dependencies: the Nexus, the framework, and Nexus plugin Prisma. That is how to use Prisma with Nexus. It's not required to use Prisma with Nexus, but really recommended. And it's actually like the project right now is ready to deploy. I could even deploy it now, but that's probably not the best thing to do on a live to try to mess with demonstration. But it's really, everything is ready to deploy already. So it's really like you have the auto completions everywhere and the TypeScript types. So when you work with the GraphQL, it really makes a difference. Like it's not a big string of text and it's a black box and you don't really know if it works or not. Here, TypeScript will tell you like right away if something is wrong. And of course, yell at you in its own language with red squiggly lines. So yeah, I think for the demonstration, that's what I wanted to show. It's a really simple thing. You can, of course, do a lot more than this. You can add mutations. Yeah. And the documentation covers this if you're curious. I don't remember how much time I got. Yeah. But yeah, I think I can go back to the slide here. Where is it? And just a thank you, Nikuye, for listening to me. And yeah, I hope you want to try Nexus in a project. Like it's actively maintained. And if you have any feedback, we will be really happy to get it. And you can use GitHub discussions directly on the GitHub repository if you want to discuss with the creators, or open an issue if you have a problem, and you will get an answer really fast. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much, Joel. Congratulations. Yeah, coding sessions, what can go wrong? But it was excellent. Thank you very much for these technical details and everything. And we have a question. We have a question from godz. And godz asks you, I feel like I've seen this before. Are we reinventing SQL views?
So SQL views, what do you mean by SQL views? I'm not sure.
Materialized views? Some cached.
Yes. The thing is, SQL views are really tied to the database. Here, it's more about GraphQL. I don't know what to say. Yeah.
Okay, so it's on the other layer. Szymon Komorek now. Szymon Komorek says, thanks, Joel. Does Prisma support mixed data sources for a single data model?
So not right now, but I can tell you I really want to have this working. It's on the roadmap. And yeah, I think a lot of people are excited about this feature. And yeah, it's not there yet.
Okay, all right. So, GraphQL, next question. Jan Piotrowski. GraphQL is an API layer similar to a REST API. Yeah. That's the question. Yeah. So I have a question. According to GraphQL, do you think what do you think? What could be the next step after GraphQL? Do you think there could be a better some better solution than GraphQL to give the front-end developers or any developers a better channel to get the API data?
I don't know. I know that there's a lot of things going on right now. There are so many layers where innovation is happening. GraphQL is the protocol layer. There's a lot happening also on the databases, like to have distributed databases, like CDN, but for databases, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I don't know what's the next thing. I think GraphQL is the next thing. Not a lot of people are using it still. I can't hear you anymore.
Sorry.
But yeah, like I just think GraphQL is going mainstream for sure. Yeah. And in Europe, we're kind of late to the game. In the US, more people are using it already.
Yeah, that's true. More and more. Okay, so no more questions then. Thank you very much, Joel. Again, congratulations to the talk. We will publish it and give you ask you for the permission, of course, before. And would you join us on our networking session?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. So we will post the link on YouTube and all other channels, so we will have easy access to that. And yeah, it's going to be a virtual town where you can walk and approach people, talk to them. We will test it how it works. So there is nothing for granted, but I hope it's going to work fine. So yeah, again, congratulations, great applause. We see here a lot of comments with applause.